Thanks, everybody, and thank you for joining us. Hope everybody had a great night last night, and we're going to have a strong finish to the conference today. We have a lot of good information to share with you, and obviously a star-packed panel of some of the top acquirers in the industry. So glad to have everybody join us. Thought it would be good as a backdrop to take a look at some of the M&A statistics from the industry last year, just to give a sense of what types of deals are happening out there. And I apologize in advance if we miss a deal. If you're with a company and you see that we have a short number of deals that you acquired last year, please reach out to us afterward. This database of transactions is constantly evolving. It's very complicated. We collaborate with ProSales on keeping it up to date, but it's only as good as the information we get from the buyers out in the market. So please point those types of things out. So we look at deals and M&A activity in two different ways out in the market. We first want to look at it by sheer number of deals, where every company is one deal, whether it's a $12 million lumberyard or a $1 billion company, one deal per company. And so taking that view, the top acquirer last year was Gypsum Management and Supply that we heard from yesterday, and they did 8 deals. And in total, in the market, we saw 51 deals in the LBM space that would be of interest to folks in this room. So just about a deal per week done in the industry. It was down just a little bit from last year. In 2015, we saw about 60 deals. So we're down a little bit, but still an amazing pace of M&A activity, and one that would be tough to match in almost any other industry segment. So some very active buyers out there in terms of total number of deals. The other way that we look at deals is by locations, so that when you have a big deal like an ABC Supply buying an L&W Supply, that doesn't just get one measure counted. You get a count for every one of the locations that's acquired. And so when you look at it from that standpoint, there were about 400 locations acquired last year. ABC Supply Foundation and obviously from our panel, US LBM and Building Industry Partners were among the more active buyers last year, and with the remainder of the deals rounding out among 14 groups that bought one company each. So then we start to say, well, what types of companies are buying other companies out there? And so if you look at it, and just in a broad brush approach of saying, is this a broad lines distributor that we classify as a lumberyard, or is this a specialty dealer that sells sort of one narrow set of products that they're focused on? And about half of the buyers last year were specialized, and about a third of them were lumberyards that did more broad distribution, and then the others were, a smattering of manufacturers buying things or private equity funds, things like that. So that's sort of the mixture out in the market. And again, when you take a look at the specific types of buyers, and it's difficult to categorize groups, you'll see some stats here that you might look at later and say, well, gee, I wonder what the difference is between specialty dealer exterior and specialty dealer roofing. Well, roofing means that they're almost solely focused on roofing. They might do some other ancillary products, but they put their shingle out there to the world as being mostly focused on roofing. If it's exterior, then that means they probably do roofing, siding, and windows, or any two of those three. So they've taken a definite stance in the market more toward the total envelope, not just one specific product segment. So there is some subjectivity to this, and that finds its way into the numbers, but directionally it's interesting to know where are the deals getting done. And as you can see, drywall and roofing are areas that are very active right now, and we would anticipate those would continue to be active. So then we look at sort of the sellers. Who are these sellers? And there's even more of a preponderance on the specialty side among the sellers. Almost 2/3 of the sellers were specialized, again, in a more narrow focused set of products rather than being a broad lines distributor, with the other quarter of deals being lumberyards that were more broad lines based, and then manufacturers, and I saw a couple that were hard to categorize. So then, again, digging into that by specific seller type, and Craig will make all these slides available, so don't feel that you have to write any of these down. Again, specialized aspects of drywall were very strong last year, but still a very solid level of interest in lumberyards being acquired, which means that right now, basically, anybody that's either specialized or in a broad lines sense, there's an active market out there for companies of both types of deals are getting done right now, which is good news for the industry.